Frank Isola, Clinton Yates, Woody Page, and yes, the return of Sarah Spain today.
Wow.
Last time we saw you, Sarah, you looked a little different. Today we get the full Sarah. Huzzah! We'll see if there's any time for Sarah to cook today because Isola's on the Knicks. No minutes restriction for Isola. A whole lot of load to manage. He'll be in everyone's chest like bronchitis. Let's go around the horn.
Bing bong.
Bing bong community is active.
Not ping pong, bing bong.
Welcome home, Sarah Spain, the host of Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeartRadio, the only daily podcast about women's sports. First season, already winning awards, the Icon Award for Social Impact. Now also, let me introduce Sarah Spain, the author. Runs in the Family by Sarah Spain and Dylan McCullough. Hot off the press, now available for pre-order at Simon & Schuster and wherever you order pre. You see it on the screen, and you see it in my hands right here. One of my favorite articles you ever wrote, Sarah. Won a Peabody Award, of course. It's about fatherhood and football. So, Sarah, please get us caught up to speed on everything in your life. You got 10 seconds.
The details of my life are quite inconsequential. Where should I begin? My father was a relentlessly self-improving boulangerie owner with a penchant.
All right, yes. You had a chance to promote your book. Instead, you decided to make an Austin Powers reference, which we appreciate. We'll take a first word now. Let's go. Still no update on Jason Tatum. It's the news of the day in the NBA. As of our tape time, fears of a lost season and beyond, especially gutting for basketball fans. But the crash back down to earth for the defending champion Celtics, that much harder as well. Contrasting that with the joy and delirium on 7th Avenue last night and the dream coming together for the New York Knicks. Ways we didn't even think was possible. And it has to be said, at the moment of the Tatum injury, Knicks were up 9 with 3 to go. They played a perfect second half. They grabbed this game just like the other two and now are 1 game away from the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. Frank Isola, you were there. Where do you want to start?
Well, you mentioned it. You know, we make things big in New York, but I'm not over-exaggerating when I say that's their biggest home win in 25 years. And I think for the Boston Celtics, this was all set up in games 1 and 2 when they blew those big leads. Their margin of error was razor thin. And yesterday or last night, it disappeared when Jason Tatum, who was having a brilliant game, got hurt. And you're 100% right, Tony. In my heart of hearts, I think the Knicks were going to win that game anyway. But now for Boston, they're probably not going to have Jason Tatum for the rest of the series. I know they did well without him during the regular season, but this is different. This is the playoffs, and this Knicks team is different. Remember, 5-0 on the road in the playoffs. They're 2-0 up in Boston. They've won 3 games already. This Knicks team is a little bit different right now. You're giving them 3 chances to take 1. I'm taking them.
Exactly, but they're even different than they were in the regular season when they couldn't beat a team ahead of them in the stand. Now the flip of the script here. But one more thing, Frank, please take a moment. Take a moment to crow here a little bit about how the Knicks come together and the minutes played. Give me some minutes, please.
Well, I think the head coach of the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, is an easy guy to beat up on. Everyone talks about he plays his starters too many minutes. The Knicks look strong in the fourth quarter all the time. He's going to run them into the ground. Yeah. Should we start rattling off the list of players that are hurt? None of them wear a Knicks uniform. You got to develop the bench. Everyone plays 7 guys in the playoffs, which is what the Knicks done. So this guy, believe it or not, he watches more film than everyone else. He knows what's best for this team, and now it's finally coming to fruition.
Oh, man, waited for this from Isola. Sarah Spain, I've waited for this. Your return. Here's your first debate. Do you believe in this Knicks team? Yeah. Do you believe what happened last night to Jason Tatum?
I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe in my final show I'm going to go full Plashke, but it's over.
My goodness.
It is over. Listen, like Frank said, this team was 8-2 without Tatum. They can succeed without him. But in those games, they thought he'd be coming back eventually. This is a team that already blew 2 20-plus point leads in this series. When their back's against the wall, they've collapsed. And now they have to go out there, manage to get the energy up to win one for the Gipper in Tatum. All it's going to take is one low stretch, one burst from the Knicks, and I see them collapsing. It's just too much emotionally. Tatum was leading them in points, rebounds, steals, assists. This was the guy. I just do not see them managing to figure
Woody
out.
Page, around the horn to you.
Well, a week or so ago, Tony, you know that several of us panelists talked about that the Celtics were in deep trouble after the way they came out in this series. And you could see it developing, more and more confidence displayed by the Knicks. They knew they could beat, as you pointed out, during the regular season, they couldn't beat anybody that was at the top of the NBA. But you could see them building confidence, and they had it last night. I thought, Frank, and you were right there, when Coach Tibb called that first timeout. I mean, it looked like the Knicks were so out of sorts, and the Celtics were on the way. They'd hit those early three-pointers, and whatever he told them in that timeout, they came out and were once again realizing that they could win this game. And it was a game all. I just think that it's all over without Tatum.
There
really
it is.
all over.
It's over. Everybody is taking on the it's over. Clinton Yates, around the horn to you.
You know, we're in kind of nostalgic mode these days, Tony, and to think that a phrase that was so overused that we banned it on this program, which is that the NBA is better when the Knicks are good, is finally actually true in an incredible way. And it's not only true, it's good also because, honestly, I believe this because of what the story of that franchise is. Things had gone awry. Guys who were former players on the team were getting thrown out of the building or could not get in on their own recognizance. And now you've got the Stephon Marbury's of the world out there getting after it. Heck, Latrell Sprewell was in the building with Allen Houston. These kinds of things, for a guy my age, I love to see that from a larger NBA standpoint. The game was one thing, the toughness they show, but the Bing Bong community is getting after it.
Frank, I
can't love it
will give you the last word on this.
You know, the draft combine is happening in Chicago, which is Jalen Brunson's hometown, and he's at the draft combine. He's not going to impress you with his vertical jump and all this other nonsense. All he does is win. He's tough. He's got incredible character, and it just so happens that Sarah's neighbor, the Pope, also went to Villanova, where I paid tuition for my daughter, so there's a nice connection there as well. It's good for the Pope. It's good for
Fine
Jalen Brunson.
intervention.
Unbelievable, Frank. What a big rally to start today's show. You're loving this moment, Frank. You deserve it. We'll move on. It was a night when fortunes changed drastically, as we just spoke of with Tatum and the Celtics. But that takes us to the lottery with a stunning change of fortune as well. Mind-boggling. The Mavs winning the lottery after everything they put their fans through, after everything they put us through. Who said let Nico cook? Please, 1.8% chance. And now the conspiracy theories are abound as well with that. But also the decision that is at the feet of Nico Harrison right now. Draft Cooper Flag at 1 or trade the number 1 pick and maybe acquire Giannis. Clinton, what were you feeling when you saw Dallas number 1?
I thought to myself, I can't believe how exciting a draft lottery is, and I've covered them in person myself, but this one was the best one I'd ever seen. When you first see those numbers drop, and you think to yourself, no way. This can't be. I don't believe it. And then it happens. And you're thinking to yourself, what a lucky guy Nico happens to be. He's playing chess, not checkers, and the conspiracy theorists come out of the woodwork. If I'm the Mavs, however, I strongly consider pairing things up to try to get Giannis. I don't know what you've got to do. I'm not going to go full capologist, trade generator. But what I'm saying is that I don't think it's the worst sell in the world to try to get somebody right now who you think, because reminder, before that trade happened with Luka, they said they're in win now mode. You're in win now mode, you got a bargaining chip. Might as well.
All right, so you would trade the number 1 pick and acquire Giannis if you're the Mavericks. Woody Page, around the horn of you?
Yes.
Well, Nico better not go out and trade Flag in the next several days for anybody in the league.
Okay.
I mean, people are getting excited in Dallas again, talking about what they've just acquired on their hockey team that's still in the playoffs, what they've gotten in WNBA on their team now.
Picks.
You better keep this young kid, because Flag has such an incredible future in the league. And I think everybody's talking about, go get Giannis. They get people healthy. They get a rookie that will be Rookie of the Year. I think that you've got a situation there where you've got to try and rebuild not only the team, but rebuild the confidence that state and city of Dallas has in this team. I mean, that's your only chance.
Sarah Spain, what were you thinking when you saw Dallas number 1?
I was thinking that life is unfair and good things happen to bad executives. I was thinking this guy, Nico Harrison, who literally said, I knew that Luka was important to the fan base. I just didn't really know how important. And this CEO, Rick Welts, who said, I just arrived here and I was shocked to learn how much the fans feel a connection to their team. Where have these guys been? And how did they deserve the #1 pick and an opportunity to clean up the mess they just made? I still think, Woody, that as excited as they are about Cooper Flagg, they would be very excited about Giannis. And it's cool to think of Paige Becker's Cooper Flagg starting at the same time. But if you're telling these people they can get Giannis Antetokounmpo proven in the NBA, not just a guy you hope will prove himself, right, I'd be excited.
All right,
about
so
that.
that's two then. Two for making a trade and seeing if you can acquire a former MVP. Frank Isola, around the horn to you.
Well, Clinton mentioned that window, and that window of opportunity could change. You do get Cooper Flagg, and now he's on a rookie deal. But you did say 2 to 3 years, and the timetable of Giannis matches up. And it's not like you're trading for a bum here. He's a terrific guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's very popular. He's 30, keeps himself in great shape. You figure he's going to play 6 or 7 more years at a pretty high level. The other word that Clinton mentioned was luck. Think about this. The Mavericks have been in the lottery about a dozen or so times. They never once moved up. Not a spot. Not 2 spots. In fact, they moved down a bunch of times. Think about the amount of teams that they had to jump over, which included winning the coin flip with the Chicago Bulls before the lottery even happened. So this was a guy, Nico Harrison, that needed luck. He got it.
And that's because the Bulls won a game where Giddey's hitting a buzzer beater at the end. I mean, there's a lot of that. But still, there are people who were to tell you, there's a conspiracy. There's something sour afoot, Frank. You don't believe in it.
Good.
Frozen envelopes. You don't believe in any of that.
Good.
Well, the guy that has the envelopes.
I'll take the conspiracy.
It's from my town, Mark Tielli. He's not. You're
He's
saying
from
that
your
he's
town?
involved
What is
in
that?
conspiracy?
What am I supposed to do with that?
Felony?
What does that mean?
He's a friend of ours.
Okay. Okay, but even let's not even say this is a conspiracy. Let's say the NBA has a strategy here where they're trying to dissuade tanking, so it's percentages. But the worst teams do not get the #1 pick. You can go back to this year, last year, but it doesn't play out like that. You could say it's a mathematical anomaly, but that's the case. Is that good for the game of basketball, Frank?
Yeah. Philadelphia tanked and moved up. So tanking did work for them. Keep that in mind. It's just like winning the lottery. You have a chance.
Cuban.
This time it was Dallas's chance.
Taking a break right here.
Mark Cuban is back on board for the Mavs. That's huge.
Welcome back to Around the Horn, coming to you from the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17.
The return of our friend Sarah Spain today. So again, the return of an old standby on our show where we buy or sell a panelist, a take from our panelists, so we can say it to your face that we're selling you or buying you. So we're going back to some of your old takes, Sarah. Are you worried? Are you scared here? We're going back to. Do we find an old tweet? You worried about that?
Confident.
Okay, let's go. Buy or sell one from Good Game. After watching Unrivaled, I was convinced and I was going to put my money down on Fee for MVP this season. Now I'm even more determined because right now she's third in MVP odds behind Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson. I think she's fired up about losing, fired up about not being given the best odds. So Sarah Spain has Napheesa Collier for MVP in the WNBA this year. Frank Isola, buy or sell Sarah Spain?
Oh, I'm selling that big time. Everyone loves Collier. Remember in the championship game last year, she missed that layup late right before the Stewie six-step, right? She took about 6 steps. But it's going to be Caitlin Clark. My only thing would be, and I would ask Sarah this, last year, Caitlin Clark should have been unanimous Rookie of the Year. We're still trying to find that person that didn't vote for her. But they built that whole team to support Caitlin Clark. She got stronger, the outside shooting, and the people that score a lot of points, they usually get the most MVP votes.
All right, so you're selling Spain and Collier, and you're buying Caitlin Clark. Sarah, hold on, you'll get your chance. Clinton Yates, around the horn to you. Buy or sell Spain?
I think it's a fine pick, but I'm selling it mainly because I'm more interested in what A'ja Wilson can possibly do after being unanimous and having 3 already, potentially becoming the 4th person to get 4 MVPs. And the image she's projecting now, she's got her new shoe out, that tremendous commercial that highlights the sisterhood of black women, part of which was directed by Malia Obama. I just like what A'ja's doing as much as anything.
But I mean, shoes aren't what winning is WNBA. You're not going to win MVP because of your shoes, Clinton Yates, but you're selling Spain.
What I'm saying.
Go ahead, Woody Page.
I miss selling you, Sarah. It's just part of my life. Where have you been? You've been out on a pig farm for the last year and a half or so?
Yep.
I got to tell you again, you are totally wrong. You're not going to even have your MVP in the top 3.
Ooh.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark, and followed by Wilson. No chance
Wait, you said not in the top three. Who's finishing third then, Woody Page? This is going to be interesting.
She finally would get third.
Okay, so you have her in the top. Okay. And Sarah Spain now. Buy or sell Sarah Spain?
All right, listen, I'm not going to argue with any of you who are saying A'ja Wilson should and might be the MVP again, but we remember the Jordan years. She has 3 MVPs already. I think they're going to do the thing where they change it up. I think you're all picking Caitlin Clark for good reasons. They put a lot of talent around here, but here's what Napheesa Collier has done since they named A'ja Wilson MVP last year and she was the runner-up. She scored the most points in a single postseason in WNBA history. She won the unrivaled MVP. She won the unrivaled 1v1 inaugural tournament, and she enters this season angry and ready to show that she is better than the other players in the league that keep winning these odds and winning these awards. Caitlin Clark's going to be fantastic, but she also set a WNBA record for turnovers last season. She also is going to score a lot of points and have a lot of assists, but Fee is the defensive player of the year in addition to those other statistics.
Poke it a little bit.
I think it's Fee's time.
And you like that anger is motivation. Your anger is a gift. There you go, Sarah Spain. We'll move on. Showdown 2. All right, Woody, here we go. Excuse me, buy or sell 2. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, reality. Nuggets Thunder tonight, pivotal game 5 from back when 5s were still pivotal. You're steamed, Woody, still about that start time Sunday. But Jokic's fatigue or slump, whatever you want to call it, versus OKC, back in OKC. What do you buy, what do you sell tonight, Dro?
I'm buying that the Wolves going to win, but on Friday, I had to straighten everybody out and tell them that the Nuggets would win, and they certainly did. They lost the next game on Sunday, barely, but they don't have the depth, and it's really going to hurt them in Oklahoma City. But they're going to come back to Denver, win number 6. This series is going 7 before.
All right, don't get ahead of
Thunder
yourself.
advance.
Tonight, Sarah Spain, what you buying, what you selling?
I'm buying that this isn't over and that Jokic can find his way out of this if he's healthy. If there's a major injury that we're not talking about here, that might be the reason for all of his numbers to have dropped so precipitously. But I think he can read what they're doing on defense, the double teams as soon as he gets the ball in the front court, the physicality that they're bringing him, and he can either feed his teammates or he can step up his own game by anticipating what they're going to bring defensively. If he's injured, it's a little bit
Frank Isola, what you buying tonight?
Sarah, you said all the numbers have gone down. The number that's gone up, and this is a problem with the turnovers. He's averaging more turnovers than assists. I think he's going to have a monster game tonight. But I think for Oklahoma City, what they did on Sunday, we may look back at that game 4. They went into the fourth quarter trailing. Maybe that was the game that turned the corner for Oklahoma City. Winning on the road like that, in danger of falling behind 3-1, that could be the
And
key
Clayton
game to look
Yates.
back on.
I'm selling that the Nuggets are going to get this together between the situation with Adelman, who's trying to hold the scenario there, and as Ramona Shelburne reports, some level of reasonable discord between players that are trying to deal with making this playoff run. I just think the Thunder are too strong with what they've got for the Nuggets to be able to put this all together.
Woody, on Jokic and the slump, or is there an injury at play?
There's a real injury. He suffered that months ago, and he's wearing that sleeve. And if you pull the sleeve apart, you see a really damaged elbow there. And it's just not the same player that we've seen all season.
Thank you for your time today, Clinton Yates and Woody Page. But it's a Sarah Spain, Frank Isola showdown next.
My.
Around the Horn is brought to you by Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Spain and Isola in showdown. Did not see that coming. 3-1s on ice. Oilers refoisting. The question whether the way they lost Game 3 would carry over. Nope. Henrique a minute in, and then a bit later in the first half, never looking back. Hurricanes forcing the Capitals to the brink as well. Shotapalooza continues for them. What a great strategy. Just shoot. Sarah, who is impressing you more right now, Carolina or Edmonton?
It's got to be Edmonton after that last game. The Las Vegas Knights shot only 5 times in the first period, and they spent 6 minutes of it on a power play. That's disgusting. That's just futile.
Frank Isola?
Well, it's going to be Carolina. They absolutely steamrolled the Devils in the first round. You look at what they're doing to Washington. Even though Ovechkin scored, Washington was the best team in that conference this year. Carolina right now, they'll get that one more win in advance.
What did you say, Sarah, at the end of your answer? It's futile. That's something is futile right now. I believe it's Frank Isola's chances. Go ahead, take the point. Sarah Spain, we'll move on. NFL Schedule League, check this out. Minnesota Vikings have a back-to-back international games in Dublin and in London. Vikings historically been known to travel aggressively through these islands through the years. Frank, from a football perspective, is back-to-back international games an advantage, a disadvantage, or a huge disadvantage?
Yeah, from a personal standpoint, I've already applied for a job in Minnesota. I want to go on that trip. You know what? Depending on the results, they'll say it was a great thing that we did it. If they lose, they'll say it's a bad thing. It's growing the sport. I think it's a terrific idea. I think playing 2 games over there is smarter than just going over for the one.
Okay. Sarah Spain?
Yeah. I mean, I think for reporters like Frank, it's lovely to get a vacation out there. And for the team, at first I thought it was a negative, but then I thought about the fact that they technically won't have Number 10, Mina Kimes' meltdown when Shohei went to the Angels. Number 9, Izzy calling Josh Rosen the next Dan Marino. Number 8, every time the show talked women's sports when others didn't. Number 7, every time Pablo incorrectly picked a 16 seed over a 1. Number 6, every time someone complained about the scoring. Number 5, every time Plaschke incorrectly said it's over, especially the time the Cubs won the World Series. Number 4, Woody choking on confetti after his 300th win. Number 3, Tony recreating the Goodfellas shot. Number 2, Halloween shows, especially Tim, Woody, and Kevin, David's Cat Williams, every character Izzy ever did. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Moira Rose. And number 1, the FaceTimes everybody has done all week saying how grateful we are for this show. For Eric, John, Miriam.
We love you, Sarah. Buy her
Aaron,
book.
Tony, everybody.
Buy her book.
Thank you.